morning everybody. This is a 1966 model 6.9 number 6 set funicular railway. Straight off I point out most of the strip parts are painted silver. For a period of around about 18 months, 2 years, 64 to 66, they changed to this silver paint. It's very rare really to get such parts in this good condition, and they won't last in this condition. It's very easy to scratch and mark. But this was a part sealed set, I think it was, of two number 6s. One was part sealed, the other one was sealed. It is essentially as per the design, but I've changed a few things, tweaks you might say. As usual, I don't like bending parts, so the lower station, the bottom end on your left, that is slightly different, so I haven't bent the really good condition flexible plates, and basically it's about one hole, maybe two holes higher than the norm, and it's much squarer. I've used a lot more washers because, again, as usual, I don't want to damage flexible plates, especially these are effectively brand new for the most part anyway. It's powered by a 1970s number 1 clockwork motor, which was my dad's, and I think he bought it because he was going to make a record player, but not out of Meccano. He was just going to use the motor. However, that never happened, and it got put into the pile of Meccano eventually, and it's been used in many models over the years. It's pretty good nick, mainly because it never had much use when it was brand new, and probably until it was arguably 10-15 years old. Of course now it's knocking on for 40 or 50 years old, but it still works well. But the main change to this design is the drive to the cars. The original design is sort of a continuous loop of Meccano cord, or string if you ain't got the cord. That is pretty poor because, like a couple of models I've built, it relies on friction between the cord and the axle on the right, and that's the second one, the one below of the two, at the top right there. All it does, the axle just turns and it does not drive the cord. So basically I've got two separate cords and balanced it up with plenty of adjustment and tweaking so that both cars more or less travel the same distance at the same time. Two cords pulling or lowering the cars. The cords just wrap round and secured with spring clips, each axle separately. If you've got some spare parts, then there are a couple of things you could do that's not too far from the original design, and one of those is changing the axles on the cars so that they don't stick out quite as far and less chance of them being caught. And it looks pretty ugly at the moment with the facing side now, the bottom left car, the axle sticks out about an inch. The build time was, it's been so long now, I can't say for sure, but I think it was a good 6 hours, and a lot of that was tweaking. I'll come on to the main reason for the tweaking in a bit. There you can see the detail of one of the cars. It's pretty much like the original design. Again, there's extra washers. There's a bit of tweaking going on though to get it to run right, and you're probably better using 1-inch pulleys. They've got quite a wide V. There's a reason for this, and generally once you've run it a few times it may derail once or twice. Once it settles down it seems to be alright as long as you don't move it again. The problem with the track is the join halfway down. Let's have a look at that. And this is indeed that joint in the rails. You can see the strips overlap, which causes the rails to be thicker at that point. Without proper flanged wheels there's not much leeway you can have, because if the rail catches the pulley as it comes down on the one side, any adjustments will mean that if you adjust it too far the other way, either in the rail or the position of the pulley on the axles, and the axles do float around a bit and it's probably best that way, you run out of adjustment quite easily. Flanged wheels would run much better, but of course you don't get them in this set. This joint required plenty of adjustment, especially in the centre rails, which you can see more or less to the far left, where you can see the bolts and the nuts holding the two together. That is structurally sound. With the addition of a handful of parts you can make this really good, but once you've been tweaking and once it's settled down, if you've moved it, it runs quite well. Let's have a look at it run.